is a presentation of Fox Sports.
In Miami today, baseball. It's lunchtime with the Braves and the Marlins. Marlins Park roof closed, AC on. The Braves are suddenly hot. The Marlins have dropped 5 in a row, and it's camp day here in Miami. So the campers are cool, out of the sun, into the cotton candy, and ready to go. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz along with Tommy Hutton. Welcome to Miami, where the Braves have won the first 2 games of this 3-game set, and the Marlins have dropped 5 in a row. Now, the Braves have spent more days in first place than any team in Major League Baseball. They've got a 6-game lead in the East right now. The Marlins had the second-best record in all of baseball in June, yet they've dropped 5 in a row. Which team is this, Tommy Hutton?
Well, right now, Rich, the Marlins are the team we saw a lot of in April and May. Over the last 5 games, the 5 losses, they've been outscored 25-12. You know what? That's one thing to be outscored, but you know what? They've been outplayed as well. They need to turn that around.
They've been out-Uptoned in this series for sure. Even BJ is hot, but Justin Upton, who had the great April, has come alive again. And in this ballpark, he has destroyed Miami.
I'll tell you what, Justin Upton loves Marlins Park. It hasn't affected his power. He's hit 3 home runs here, hitting 386. Overall this year, Upton is hitting 382, so he just loves hitting against the Miami Marlins. And how about the Braves? The Braves, as a team in this ballpark, are 12-2, and they're 5-0 this year. So a lot of that is because of Justin Upton.
Our Coventry Healthcare pitching matchup in this one. The Marlins have one of their good young starters out there. Jacob Turner gets the ball. Paul Maholm going for the Braves. First Turner.
You know, a lot surrounded Jacob Turner in his last outing in St. Louis, and he got through that. He's had good numbers this year in his 7 starts, good strikeouts to walks ratio. He faced the Braves one other time. It was last year. In 6 innings, he gave up a couple of earned runs.
And Paul Maholm is always steady but never a winner in Pittsburgh. Now that he's put a Braves jersey on, that's changed.
Things started out really good for Maholm. The last 2 starts, though, he's given up 8 home runs.
Marlins and Braves getting ready to go. Let's head out to center field. Craig Minervini and Jeff Conine.
Well, thank you, Rich. If Ward hasn't gotten around yet, it's going to get around very soon. That Marcell Ozuna is a guy you don't want to run on, and Jeff's going to show us a few reasons why, whether he's in right field or center field. The form is the same, and it's exciting to watch.
Very exciting to watch. And you know what? I think the mindset of this kid is he likes to make the big play. He is expecting to make a big play, and we'll see a variety of ways he does it. Look at this, a flip turn right here. Very difficult throw to make, right on the money. You see him pick up his target very early. Look at how straight his ball stays in the air. Right on target, very true. This is an extra inning game, a phenomenal play going toward the line. He squares up his body. Another perfect one-hop throw. Pick up his target early. Very true flight on his baseball. Nice, another beautiful one-hop throw. And getting behind the baseball right there. Kids, this is exactly what you're supposed to do. Get your momentum going forward. Pick up your target early. And a one-hop throw. See, that ball is able to be cut off by the cutoff man if need be. Last night, once again, perfect one-hop throw to the catcher. Gives him plenty of time to set up, throw the knee down, block the plate. Picks up his target very early. Squares up his body, and time again, very accurate, very true flight on his baseball, and it's very exciting to watch.
It is great. It's a great play. It's thrilling, and he comes in, and last night he came in, I gave him a little thumbs up, and he had that face like, hey, I'm having fun out here. His 8th assist there, just behind, but obviously if he played the whole season, he'd be the leader. The question is, Jeff, will teams stop running? We've seen a few times not going to third, not even attempting, but are teams going to say, we don't want to run on this guy?
Absolutely. They're going to start running on him. You know, Joe Espada will go over the lineups and the outfielders and see who's got the strongest arm. And if there's a questionable play, he'll hold them up.
In center field, sometimes you can't always fashion that great arm. But as Jeff mentioned, it could also stop you from taking the extra base, almost like preventative medicine, if you will, for the Marlins out there in center field. All right, we've got day baseball, camp day, and the Marlins really searching for a win here over Atlanta before they leave town. Ball game coming up.
Places by AT&T UVerse TV. Check availability at 1-800-PICK-AT&T. Rethink possible. By Just for Men Auto Stop, the foolproof way to get rid of gray. And by Checkers. Feast on. In Miami, the Braves and the Marlins ready to go. The roof is closed. It's camp day. The Marlins need a win. They have dropped 5 in a row. And 22-year-old Jacob Turner will try to deliver that win. He's 2-1 with a 2.30 ERA on the season.
Richie's been very solid. He had that outing in St. Louis dealing with family, friends, and the whole bunch, and also dealing with that Cardinal lineup. But overall, Jacob Turner in his 7 starts has gone 6 or more innings 6 times. He's allowed just 1 home run. He has shown pinpoint control with the fastball. The slider and the curve have been there. He's been very steady out there after an extremely rough spring training.
And so Turner takes aim at a Braves lineup on this afternoon game after a night game that has some changes to it. And the man you're looking at is one of them. Tyler Pasternicki giving Andrelton Simmons the day off. Pinch-a-penny brings you the first pitch, and it's a fastball for a strike. Pasternicki, Jason Hayward, Justin Upton in the first against Jacob Turner. Pasternicki called up to the Braves after the injury to Evan Gattis. He was having a very good year in their AAA outposts. And Gwinnett, here's the 1-1 pitch. Turner misses down low.
So one thing, when Jacob Turner went over this lineup of the Braves, he realized he didn't have to deal with Brian McCann. So McCann out, Laird in.
He still has to deal with Justin Upton, and he has torn the Marlins up on this season and in this series. Pasternicki fouls it back. As Tommy pointed out, the last start for Turner was in St. Louis, an uneven one, 4 runs in 6 innings. But Turner really has been fantastic since joining the Marlins, even last year. 7 starts this year, but if you stretch Turner back to his last 12 starts in the big leagues, his earned run average is a very thin 2.29 with a 3-3 record. Goes back to early September of last year. 2-2 breaking ball, and he finishes off Pasternicki. All right, JM Lexus brings you the Braves lineup. You've met Pasternicki. Here comes Jason Hayward. Justin Upton will follow. Freddie Freeman's at first. Chris Johnson's at third. Dan Ugla second base. BJ Upton out in center. Gerald Laird will do the catching, and Paul Maholm hits ninth.
Well, a good start for Jacob Turner. A good pitch to put away Pasternicki.
And here is Hayward. A couple hits in the series for Hayward. He hits a fly ball to right. Stanton over and in and under, and he makes the catch. So a pitch to Hayward and an out. 2 down before Upton gets here. Let's look at the defense, and it's brought to you by the Cleveland Clinic, Florida.
Well, we'll see that defense. It's full of right-handed bats. Mike Redmond is unloaded. Ruggiano, Nozuna, and Stanton. Got Polanco at third. Ed Lucas moves over to first base. He's played there and started at first 4 times. The Marlins are 4-0 in his 4 starts at first. Echeverria, Solano, and Jeff Mathis behind the plate.
Here now, Justin Upton, who has done big damage with the 5 hits that he has in this series. 4 have been doubles. The other was a long home run in last night's ball game. And the Braves are hopeful that Upton is getting back to April, back when he was just incredibly hot. He hit a dozen homers, the most ever for the month of April by a Braves player, not in Atlanta history, but in franchise history.
You talk about his extra base hits, 5 of them in this series. The Braves as a team have 8. So he has over half of their extra base hits.
Freddie Gonzalez has the Braves in first and has had them in first almost all season long. In fact, the Braves, a major league high 99 days in first place. And they have a 6-game lead over the Washington Nationals starting play today. A strike to Upton, and the count's 3-2. Turner, of course, coming over from the Detroit Tigers, along with Rob Brantley in the trade last year. Omar Infante and Anibal Sanchez headed north. Three-two coming. In fact, the Marlins rotation really kind of rebuilt through trades. Nathan Eovaldi coming over from the Dodgers, Turner coming from the Tigers, Henderson Alvarez, who threw last night from the Blue Jays. The departed Ricky Nolasco made his first start last night for the Dodgers, and what a start it was for Ricky in Arizona, beating the Diamondbacks. And just for good measure, Nolasco was 2 for 2 at the plate. He went 7 innings, gave up just a run.
Didn't walk anybody, had 5 strikeouts, so tip of the cap to Ricky in his Dodger debut.
The Dodgers, by the way, are now a game under and only 2.5 back of Arizona in the West. Freeman fouls a pitch off and steps back in. Freddie Freeman, a couple hits in the series. Walked twice last night and doubled. And Hutt, you'll be excited to know that this morning Freddie Freeman is still in front in the final vote, which has, I guess this is the final day. Tomorrow, the final vote in Major League Baseball turns to Twitter, MLB.com, if you want to vote for either the American League or the National League final vote candidates. But Freeman is still out in front of Yasiel Puig. Yeah, the Braves, there were a couple players running that around during batting practice and just before first pitch. Justin Upton at first, 2-1 from Turner. And it's a strike. Brian Knight is calling balls and strikes. With Jerry Davis down at first, Dan Iasonia in the middle of the diamond right now at second. Mark Carlson over at third. Good umpiring crew. They've had 2 good nights here with the Marlins and the Braves. The Braves winning both games 6-4 last night and a 7-1 win in the opener in 14 innings.
After getting a couple of quick outs, Pastornicki and Hayward. Turner with the walk to Upton, now 3-2 on Freddie Freeman.
Chris Johnson is on deck. 3-2 coming to Freeman. Justin Upton moving. And it's fouled out of play. This is an afternoon ball game and a getaway day. The Braves go home and they've got the Cincinnati Reds for 4 starting tomorrow night. The Marlins have an off day and the Washington Nationals for 3 starting Friday. Another 3-2 and another foul ball.
That'll be an interesting series in Atlanta. Cincinnati Reds, they certainly are, as they say, a player in the National League Central. The Reds 5 games back, but they've won 50 games.
2 of the better pitching staffs in the National League, Atlanta and Cincinnati. Atlanta second in overall ERA. Cincinnati is 4th. Runner goes, swing and a miss. Mathis digs it out, tags him out, and Turner gets out of the first inning. We're underway in Miami and scoreless. They're going over the lineup right now. They want to know if Ed Lucas is in there. And yes, he is. JM Lexus presents the lineup. Justin Ruggiano will lead it off. Lucas in the 2-hole. Giancarlo Stanton is in right field. Marcelo Zuna is in center. Placido Polanco at third base. Donovan Solano at second. Danny Echeverria with a nice 9-game hit streak at short. Jeff Mathis does the catching. And Jacob Turner hits ninth.
Boy, a lot of career starts for the veteran Paul Maholm against the Marlins. Some with the Cubs, a number of them with the Pirates. Overall, 6-5 in 12 starts in his career against the Marlins. Saw the Marlins earlier this year and pitched really well in April 8th. Gave up just 1 hit, no runs in his 7 innings here.
And the right-handed bats are out in force as Maholm gets a strike. Ruggiano, Lucas, and Stanton climb in. So the Marlins bench is very left-handed. Morrison, Brantley, Dobbs, Dietrich.
Got a chance to see Luis Avilan later.
1-1 coming. And Maholm misses down low. Paul Maholm, throughout his career in Pittsburgh, pitched for some teams that didn't win a lot of ball games, but he always seemed to have a nice ERA, and there were some years where it was up, but others where he was in the mid-3s, and still he never had a winning record in a full season in Pittsburgh. 2011 was a great example. He had a 3.66 ERA, yet he was 6-14, and he walks Ruggiano. Braves a pretty good defensive team, and they're brought to you by the Cleveland Clinic, Florida.
Then when you check in that outfield, a Gold Glove in right field, Jason Hayward. Upton's in center and left. Chris Johnson, Pasternicki starting at short today. Ugla and Freeman, and the veteran Gerald Laird behind the plate.
Now Lucas takes a fastball for a strike. Ed Lucas, a couple hits in the series, including a double. Quick delivery on a slide step, and it's a foul ball.
I'll tell you another really interesting number on Paul Maholm. Extremely well this year at Turner Field. He's 5-2 with a 1.93 ERA at home. On the road, 4-5, and his ERA is over 5. And that's including that outstanding game he pitched here on April 8th.
Talked about the great start that he had. He didn't allow a run in his first 3 starts. Just the 4th pitcher in the expansion era to win his first 3 games of the season, all starts, and not allow a run. Lucas gets the bat head through and drives it into left field for a base hit. Talked about that last night, Tommy. Lucas, in his first couple of weeks in the big leagues, was driving everything to right, then found pitchers were starting to come into him, and he started to pull the ball more.
He's adjusted, and he keeps that swing short, his hands right to the ball. That's why he's been able to do that. And pitchers know when he's in that situation where he's trying to send the ball the other way. They know that now, so they're trying to come in on it.
The Braves have shown in the first 2 games of this series that they're not real interested in pitching to Giancarlo Stanton. 4 walks. Stanton mired in a mighty slump. When you're trying to come out of a slump and they're not pitching to you, that can be double jeopardy. Your instinct to get out of the slump is to be aggressive and swing.
You would hope, you would expect, with runners at first and second, he'd see a little something to hit. But that last 1-0 pitch was a changeup.
See what he gets, 2-0. Hammered, left center field. That's in the gap. It's going to the wall. Good jump by Lucas as well. Coming home is Ruggiano. Lucas right behind him. He'll score easily. And it's 2-0. And Stanton awakens here this afternoon in Miami.
The Giant has awakened. That was nice. Got the count in his favor, 2-0. Had a good swing on a 2-0 pitch. Got a good pitch to hit. And boy, that ball was drilled into the gap. Solid foundation. Left side didn't fly open. And on one short hop, found that auxiliary scoreboard.
You could see the smile on Stanton's face. He's been pressing. He's been frustrated. We've seen that. And here's Ozuna. They try to stay in on Ozuna. Marcel has made adjustments as this first big league season has gone along. And I think the latest pattern with Ozuna is, especially with 2 strikes, he gets a lot of pitches up.
Yeah, the latest pattern, we've seen more of that. We've seen more of them trying to run pitches in on it.
Get it up, get it in. And that's not uncommon for a hitter that has the bat movement and the pre-pitch routine, the waggle that Ozuna has. Talked to Tino Martinez about that. And the one thing Martinez said is Ozuna does it early and for the most part has the bat back and still as he gets to the launching point and starts his swing.
Yeah, I think if you watch Ozuna's setup, watch the waggle, little of this, little of that, but then it settles down before the pitch comes to the plate.
Stanton still at second. There's nobody out. 2 runs across here in the first. And a changeup, and Ozuna goes after it. So the veteran Mulholland carves up the rookie Marcell Ozuna.
Yep, hard stuff in, then went away with a good changeup.
All right, what you got on Paul Mulholland for us?
Well, we've seen a little bit of the scouting report already. A little herky-jerky delivery. Will throw a little bit of everything, and we saw that snap throw to first base. He's quick over there.
Sharp ground ball, fair ball. Polanco has extra bases, and Miami has another run. Stanton will score. Mulholland really has tried to crowd the right-handed hitters in. Lucas pulled one to left for a hit, and now Polanco does the same.
You know, the ball game that Mulholland threw here in April, 1 hit over 7 innings. The 1 hit was by Polanco. It was a 3rd inning single. So he left the breaking ball up. Polanco didn't waste any time. Drives in another run with a 2-base hit.
Now Donovan Solano climbs in. Solano getting the start at second base with Dietrich the day off. Mulholland is so deadly against lefties. I think we're going to see a little more of Solano in the second half. A guy that can play all 3 infield spots, a right-handed bat, who really hit the ball well in his rehab stint in AAA.
He went down with a purpose when he was trying to rehab that injury.
Solano shoots it out to second. Ugla makes the play. Polanco ends up at third, but there are 2 outs now for Adeiny Echeverria. Mulholland on the road, not so good, as Tommy pointed out, and the Marlins have put 3 on the board already. And here's Echeverria, who has a 9-game hit streak. The young Cuban shortstop. 4 for 10 in the series. And again, Mahalam, a cutter in on that right-handed bat.
They've been trying to do the same as they've done to Ozuna to Echeverria. Fastballs, cutters in, because he's hit the ball so well the other way. But lately we've seen Echeverria occasionally turn on a ball and get a base hit to left field.
Well, that's the cat and mouse game that a guy like Mahalam plays. He'll show you the cutter or the fastball in. Sometimes it's really hard to hit that ball fair. And then when you start to think, I'm going to turn on one, he'll give you the really good changeup. Like that.
The simple explanation that you used to hear is hard in, soft away.
It's ball 4 and Echeverria walks, and here comes Mathis. And so Freddy Gonzalez, who in the first 2 games of the series got a very nice start last night from Julio Teheran, 7 1/3 innings. He got 6 1/3 out of Mike Minor.
Yeah, Roger McDowell out to talk to the battery. Yeah, he got Teheran into the 8th inning last night.
And with 4 games coming up and no off day against the Reds, he's probably not too eager to get to that bullpen soon.
Yeah, it's one of those games where each manager has a different approach to this game and to their bullpen. Marlins have the off day tomorrow.
Now Mathis with runners at the corners. You've got Turner on deck. So first base isn't open, but second base is. Though Mathis just hitting 159. If you follow the Marlins, you know that in June and early July, Mathis has had some big games, though. (2-0). And against Mahalam, that does not mean you're going to get a fastball here.
Yeah, a guy like Mahalam has to be perfect with location, and so far here in the first inning, he's not been. But to the Marlins' credit, offensively, they've made him work.
That's out. And the count stretches to 3-1. If you're Mathis here, you might even think about going out of the zone with the pitcher on deck and 2 outs. Polanco with Echeverria across the diamond. And Mathis pulls it, and it's foul. With a full count, Echeverria away from first. Polanco at third. Little quick pitch, line drive, base hit, right field. Polanco scores. Echeverria ends up at third base. A slide step by Mahalam, not designed to deceive the runner, but trying to upset the timing of Jeff Mathis. Mathis didn't budge, and he drove it away. It's 4-0.
You know, you might upset the timing of a rookie, but not a veteran. And Mathis was ready for it. And trust me, those are things that come across in a scouting report. That be alive. Occasionally, he'll try to quick pitch you, and when he does, it's going to be a fastball. And Mathis was ready for it.
And so now here is Turner, and he fouls it back. For Turner, or any pitcher that doesn't have a whole lot of experience with the bat in his hand, an at bat against Mahalam is a lot more comfortable than someone throwing 95 with a wicked slider or a split. I mean, you're just fastball changeup here.
So a good start for the Marlins, trying to snap their 5-game losing streak.
Turner fouls it back into the seats. The Fish have put 4 on the board with 4 hits, and they've pushed Mahalam over 30 in his pitch count. He's up to 33 now. That's in. Here's the amazing thing about the Marlins. They've lost 5 in a row, but they still have the 2nd best record in the National League since May 31st. Tied with Pittsburgh and St. Louis for that. The Dodgers have the best. 2-2 coming. And that's in. And Mahalam can't even throw strikes to Jacob Turner. Ruggiano waits on deck.
Wow, look at that. 35 pitches for Mahalam.
Turner just won't go away right now. RBI hits. Giancarlo Stanton, a 2-run double. Placido Polanco, RBI double. Jeff Mathis, RBI single. Turner, a ground ball up the middle. Ugla gathers it in, fires to first, and makes the play. 9 men come to the plate for Miami. 4 of them score. Giancarlo Stanton with a big hit to start things off. Marlins Park, the Fish and the Braves, and it's 4-0 already. Miami on top. From the outset of the telecast, we talked about the Braves, who have been dominant in the East, 99 days in first place, and the Marlins, who were awful in April, awful in May, but had the 2nd best record in the National League in June. Miami on a 5-game losing streak. The hard part, and Mike Redmond talked about it yesterday, is they lost 3 tight games in St. Louis. 2 could have gone either way, be it a mistake by the Marlins or maybe a call in the game. And then they run into Atlanta, a first-place team, and they've lost the first 2 here.
And in some ways, games were lost because of some sloppiness. Runners getting picked off, errant throws.
Chris Johnson drills one, right center field. Stanton in full flight, won't get it. It goes to the wall. And racing to second is Chris Johnson.
Boy, it doesn't matter if he's hitting 8th or 5th.
So Johnson doubles to open up the second. Marlins and Nationals on Friday night, and it's a fireworks Friday. You get the Sir Pizza 4-pack, which includes 4 tickets, 4 personal Sir Pizzas, 4 Pepsi soft drinks for just $60. Stay after for a fireworks spectacular presented by Budweiser. Go to marlins.com for tickets.
Rich, an 11-game hitting streak for Chris Johnson, who had settled into that number 8 spot, but because of McCann out of the lineup and Laird playing Pasternicki in there, Freddie Gonzalez has him hitting 5th, and he doubled.
Here's Dan Uggla. Uggla off the end of the bat, and it hits the base and trickles down the right field line. That'll be a double, and it scores Johnson. Well, you talk about making a good pitch and then watching an odd thing happen. Uggla an RBI double, and the Braves are on the board. They answer back.
Even Uggla has a little chuckle about that. He's been kind of quiet against the Marlins this year. That's just his 5th hit against Miami this season. But found that bag, gets an RBI. 40 RBIs on the year for Uggs.
Turner now gets B.J. Upton, Gerald Laird, and Paul Maholm. And Upton swings and misses. B.J. Upton has shown signs of life in this series, especially last night. 2 for 3 with a sacrifice fly, and his 0 for was a line drive out. For someone who is trying to pull himself out of a slump, and last night was a step in the right direction, is B.J. Upton trying to spray a ball to the right side and move a runner to third here?
Looked like he was there. If you're Greg Walker, hitting coach, if you're Freddie Gonzalez, you would like to see that. And the hardest part for a guy like B.J. Upton, who's had the career that he has, he had a couple of hits. He had a good night last night, but it only took his average to 179. And when you're buried as far as he is, you want to do it all at once, and it's just not going to happen that way.
Breaking ball, swing and a miss. Runner going to third. Mathis goes there. Out there, but the runner gets to first base. On the ball in the dirt, Mathis had a decision to make, and that was go for the runner at third or go for the runner at first. And Mathis, who was headed to third, chose to go to third and get that out because first was unoccupied on a third strike that hit the dirt. Upton was able to go to first. It's an athletic play by Mathis.
Well, that's a quick play. You can see his athletic ability in making the throw and also the decision making.
So it goes as a strikeout, and B.J. Upton is at first base. Turner, quick feet, quick move.
Yeah.
Out! He picked him off. Whoa! What a sequence. The Marlins get Uggla at third, and without another pitch, they get B.J. Upton at first.
And just like that, 2 outs. There's a quick feet and a perfect throw. The throw had to be perfect to get Upton, and it was, as Lucas puts the tag on him. Had him leaning just a little. There's the tag on the elbow before his hand got to the bag.
A perfect throw. Lucas kept the glove down by the arm before he made the catch. Here is Laird. Laird getting his first start of the series. A big 2-run single in the 14th inning in the first game. So the Braves get a run, but they also have a guy thrown out at third and one picked off of first.
I'm not so sure, Rich, I'm just trying to think, I've ever seen that play with the hitter striking out on a pitch in the dirt, first base open, so the hitter able to take off to first, but a runner at second trying to go to third. I'm not sure I've ever seen that before.
That's a good homework assignment, asking a veteran like Jeff Mathis if he's ever been in that spot before, because, as I said, it would have been easy for him to stop, turn, and throw to first and get the out. Pitches outside and Laird walks. But at the same time, he had Ugla in front of him. It by no means was an easy out at third. It very well could have been. Ugla was safe and Upton was safe. So it was a gamble by Mathis.
Oh, yeah.
This is Mahalam now. So Turner's given up 2 doubles and a walk, and yet the Braves have a run, and there's 2 outs and a runner at first. And he's had a runner reach on the strikeout that he's recorded. Just a weird inning. Mahalam fouls it off.
An inning, if you're Turner, you have to feel pretty good about things.
And if you're the Braves, if they only do get the 1 run, you certainly have to kick yourself a little bit. But the Braves have shown in this series that they can score runs, and they can score them quickly. No one's hit more home runs in the National League than the Atlanta Braves. Braves have hit 109 home runs.
Now, right now, Turner trying to get a feel for his command. He's lost it a little bit here in this inning.
You know, he lost it. It felt after the first 2 hitters in the first inning. He walked Upton, fell behind Freeman, came back and struck him out. He's been presented with a 4-0 lead. It's 4-1 now.
He's got him in and out with the command in St. Louis. Remember, he gave up 3 of the 4 runs to the Cardinals in the 3rd inning.
We talked about Mahalam's pitch count and how heavy it was in the first inning, 37 pitches. Turner trying to finish his 2nd inning, and he's at 40. Liner to center, Ozuna in, now back, and just reaches up and makes the catch. That could have been a disaster. As it is, it ends a strange half inning. Edition. Brought to you by H.H. Gregg. Doesn't that look good?
Get the skimboard out.
Maybe one of these days we can call a game from the beach. Of course, the All-Star Game is coming. The Midsummer Classic returns to New York. Home field advantage for the World Series on the line. Jose Fernandez headed to the Big Apple. 2013 Major League Baseball All-Star Game live from New York on the 16th of July only on Fox. Ruggiano fouls a pitch back. Justin Ruggiano, Ed Lucas, Giancarlo Stanton. It's only the bottom of the second, and it's a 4-1 Miami lead. Ruggiano walked, and that got things rolling for the Fish in the first. Paul Maholm has not been sharp, to say the least. 39 pitches, and only 19 have been strikes.
To see if anything changes in Maholm's command.
Johnson approaches and throws across to Freeman for the out. There is some action in the National League this afternoon. This is the first game of the day in both leagues. The Reds and the Brewers are about an hour away from starting in Milwaukee. The Reds, whom the Braves have tomorrow night in Atlanta, are at 50-40 right now, but they've fallen 5 games back in the Central. The Cardinals, the Marlins know how hot they are. The Cardinals have won 4 straight, and the Pirates have lost 4 in a row. Pittsburgh has run into that really good young Oakland pitching staff in that series in Pittsburgh. And they finished tonight, Tommy Malone against a reborn Francisco Liriano.
Yeah, the other afternoon game, the Mets are in San Francisco. The Mets have won a couple of games out at AT&T. They had that 16-inning game, and then they beat the Giants 10-6 last night. Big game for Marlon Byrd. The rebirth of Marlon Byrd. Had a grand slam home run. Has 14 home runs on the year for the Mets.
It's a Zach Wheeler, Matt Cain start. Matt Cain and Paul Maholm, both from the Germantown, Tennessee area. Back foot breaking ball almost clipped Lucas, and it's 2-2. Phillies and Nationals back at it again tonight. You know, the Phillies won't go away. They are making a run, and they've got their ace on the mound. Cliff Lee is 10-2. What a great matchup. Gio Gonzalez and Cliff Lee tonight in Philly. The Phillies are a game under. The Nationals are 2 over. Lucas, a sharp ground ball past Sternicki to his left. In time to get Lucas. Maholm has settled down. We'll see how he approaches Stanton, who had the 2-run double back in the first.
Yeah, Cole Hamels picked up a win last night against the Nats. Hard to imagine when you look at the line on Cole Hamels, 4-11, but an ERA just a little over 4. He's pitched well enough to be a little better than that.
There are your standings. 6 games back are the Nationals. The Braves, as we pointed out, have been in first place virtually the whole way in the East. Stanton gets a fastball down low. Stanton drilled a liner in the gap into left center to push home 2 in the first.
I was reading about the Phillies with Ryan Howard having knee surgery. He's going to be out for a while. Michael Young played first base a little bit. They may give Darren Ruff, saw him last year, big power hitting right-hander. They give him a chance there. Now the key, sorry, Rich, for Stanton is to stay consistent with the approach he had his first at bat. To try to string together some consistent at bats.
Well, I'm trying to go back to that breaking ball and get a strike.
Yeah, they're not all going to turn into base hits. But if the at-bats stay consistent, then he's going to be on the right track.
Well, he has shown in this series that he has started to walk a little more and has a little better strike recognition than he had in St. Louis. On pitches like that, remember in St. Louis there were a lot of pitches that he swung and missed at that were out of the zone, and he was frustrated for sure.
But Paul Maholm has had 5 3-ball counts now.
Three-two. It's up. Stanton takes the walk, and that is a good thing. So little by little, you can see Stanton start to pull out of it. That's his 5th walk of this series. Now Ozuna on the other hand is not walking. He struck out back in the first. He's 0 for 10 in this series. Ground ball, Johnson to his left, cuts it off, gets it to Ugla, and gets the out. Inning over. Marlins leave a runner, 2 in the books. Miami 4-1.
Béisbol en español es presentado en SAP por Coventry Healthcare of Florida.
In Miami, the Marlins and the Braves, and camp day here. 4-1 Miami lead in the 3rd. Campers were very orderly this morning, Tommy. They had their gloves. They all had a sack lunch. They were all in line. And there's a variety of campers. You can tell by all the different colors in the ballpark. Yellow, green, red, orange, blue. There's a lot of kinetic energy in this building. Tyler Pastornicki, Jason Hayward, Justin Upton, top of the Braves order. Pastornicki struck out back in the first. He goes after a high fastball. Pastornicki came over in a trade to the Braves from the Blue Jays. Chula the hot sauce spotlight, and he's a Bradenton guy and likes to smell the bat after a foul ball. Committed to Florida State, but then signed with the Blue Jays as a 5th-round pick. His dad briefly was with the Kansas City Royals.
You mentioned, Rich, the year he was having at AAA Gwinnett, hitting .309 in 57 games.
And he came along with Alex Gonzalez and a young pitcher for Yunel Escobar in that July trade back in 2010. Papa Stanton makes the catch.
Rich, FYI, that pitch between Mahalam and Turner was the 100th pitch thrown today. Just thought you'd be interested.
Well, Tommy, all of those pitches are part of a copyrighted telecast which is presented by the authority of the Miami Marlins, and none of those pitches may be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Any accounts and descriptions of those pitches may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Marlins. So there. Thanks for the info. Jason Hayward 0 for 1. He flied to right. Justin Upton's on deck. Jacob Turner with a 4-1 lead. Has a pair of strikeouts. Actually has 3 strikeouts. But he's walked 2. One of the impressive things about Turner this year is that he's kept the ball in the ballpark. 7 starts. He's given up just 1 home run.
That's a good number. Good number. Means that he's, for the most part, not so much today, but for the most part, he's hit his spots. A couple of years ago, 2011, Jacob Turner pitched in the Futures game when he was in the Detroit organization. Of course, Christian Yelich will play in that game, which mixes foreign-born players against American players. Talented players, prospects from all organizations, and it's usually played on Sunday, this coming Sunday, prior to the All-Star game
in New York. You're right about the number of pitches, and the pace of this game has that feel of a getaway day. That's a foul ball.
Just enough to get us into a little late afternoon rush hour traffic.
It's okay. We'll be fine.
Where are we going anyway?
Braves are headed home. They have a short commute just up the road to the Miami airport. Right back to Turner, and he underhands to first. All right, we told you that Freddie Freeman is leading in the final vote. Now, all the Fox regions have done a unofficial Twitter poll. It's informal, unofficial, happenstance. It's brought to you by AT&T.
I'm disappointed that Ian Desmond has just 2% on this poll.
Yeah, I am too. Ian Desmond should be represented a little better.
Heard a great interview the other day on XM Radio. Great interview with Hunter Pence. Just happy to be a part of that fan voting.
Here is Upton. I feel confident, Tommy, that Freddie Freeman, the voters on MLB.com, remember the last 8 hours on Twitter tomorrow. Before the game, I told you that the Braves were running around that sign. Tim Hudson interrupting
photo bomber.
That's right, on the pregame show.
That's what teammates are for. Tim Hudson pitches tomorrow night against Matt Latos. Talked about the Braves going home to play that series against the Reds.
Diving stop. Polanco on his feet makes the play and robs the red-hot Justin Upton of a hit. 3 up, 3 down. First one for Turner of the day with some help from a Gold Glover. On a camp day where the Marlins are on top. You can just pull into Chevron like Billy and save up to 60% with a Chevron Crazy 8 ticket offer. Fill up at participating Chevrons to get $8 home run porch, $18 home plate box tickets. Visit your local Chevron or marlins.com/Chevron for details. Restrictions apply.
I like that. Billy always checks the oil, checks the tire pressure.
Well, the Marlins go back to work on Paul Maholm. Placido Polanco, Donovan Solano, Adeiny Echeverria. Been a rough go for Maholm, who's already thrown 55 pitches now. A strike. He's 0-2 on Polanco, who pulled a double down the left field line to drive in a run. Miami came firing out of the gates. Giancarlo Stanton 2-run double, Polanco RBI double, Mathis RBI single. And just like that, it was 4-0 in the first. The Braves got one back in the top of the second as this game meanders into the bottom of the third. Pastornicky quickly to first to get Polanco. Tommy, we stayed up all night on the Toyota trend. Of course, it was a short night. Night game last night, turnaround today. And the Braves, 15-14 last game of a series. They've lost 4 of their last 6, including that loss to the Marlins in Atlanta just less than a week ago. The Marlins getting that big base hit for the man at the plate, Donovan Solano, against Craig Kimbrell in the ninth.
We talked about it too in Atlanta. The Marlins on the 4th of July making their first trip to Atlanta, so they'll see the Braves a lot of games in the second half.
Solano fouls it off. See, that's what you got to do, Tommy. With cell phone in one hand, you got to knock it down and make a play. Kept the ball in front of him. Johnson at third gets the out. And it seems as if Mahalam has settled into this game.
Well, he needs to, just to give Freddie Gonzalez a few more innings.
Echeverria, who walked back in the first, trying to extend a hit streak, which sits at 9 games. Little tapper, wide of third. Here comes the 1-1. It's in. Miami, after the All-Star break, is headed to Milwaukee and then to Denver. And the tour of beer ballparks continues. Busch Stadium, Miami's last road stop. And then Milwaukee. See, that's a, I mean,
you get the beer and brats in Milwaukee.
People complain about the Major League schedule, but I think that's a real smart piece of scheduling there.
It's a good fit.
It is. You get all three in 3 consecutive road series, all 3 beer ballparks. Strike 3 called. And Mahalan goes 1, 2, 3 through the fish onto the 4th in Miami. It is 4-1. AC going. Let's check in with Craig Minervini. Craig?
Well, we have campers, and then we have campers. And in this group over here, it's the Florida Panthers developmental camp, including some great Panther history next to me. Jonathan Huberdeau is the reigning National League Hockey League Calder Trophy winner. That's Rookie of the Year. And Brian Scrudlin, the former captain who took the team to the Stanley Cup Finals. First, the campers are usually younger in this kind of day, Screwy.
Listen, I'll tell you what, they're all looking younger compared to you and I these days, but they're this is the best camp we've had, I'll tell you. They're fantastic, and guys like Jonathan coming back for a second time, leading the way, as well as a whole bunch of guys that'll be his future teammates as well.
Almost 40 NHL players are here, including Jonathan. How exciting to get the news after the season, the 48-game season. You had 31 points, 14 goals, and an honor. I mean, I don't know if that's even one you even dream about growing up in Canada.
No, I mean, yeah, for sure. It was an honor to win that. And I mean, I didn't really expect it. I was playing all season without thinking about it. And at the end of the season, for sure, I was thinking about winning it. But I was happy that I got the chance to win it.
What made the transition for you work as you scored a lot of goals early and you had a consistent season? You know, this guy started the year 19. You just turned 20 a month ago.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was the execution was the big difference, I think, and the size of the player. I think that was the difference between junior and the NHL, and I think it was short period of time, but I think I went good and I had a good season.
Congratulations to you, Jonathan. Brian Skrudlin, some baseball background. How many camps with the Cincinnati Reds?
I went to 3. There were local camps in Saskatchewan, had an absolute riot. Got a chance to show off my stuff, as I used to throw a pretty hard heater till I was introduced to that curveball. My career was over awful early after that.
And that arm, how'd the arm do with the curveball?
It started scoring hockey goals instead of throwing 90 miles an hour.
Very smart. All right, we have an NHL draft show coming up on July 24th. Frank Ford had some War Room access, and it was an exciting draft. Your #1 pick, Barkov, is here. How about the draft for your team, Brian?
Well, it was another tremendous draft. Scotty Luce, who's our director of personnel, was just, you know, it's amazing how these guys hit it. He makes that list. It was amazing how 1, 2, 3, 4, right up till about pick number 50 before I think there was a mistake. And especially when the expectations for 1, 2, 3, 4 were supposed to be exactly that way. So, but our team, we just keep getting deeper and deeper. And we, you know, the NHL even has said that we've got probably the deepest prospects right now and the best prospects right now. And watching this week, I can't agree more.
Quickie here with 2 outs. Jonathan, the ballpark. You've been out a couple times. How do you like it?
Yeah, it's a great ballpark. I mean, and today I feel there's a lot more people, and it's great to see the kids there. And I mean, the facility is great, and we're excited to be here today.
All right, congratulations on the Calder Trophy, and go get them this year. Right?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Jonathan Huberdeau and the great Brian Skrudlin. Great name in Florida sports history as he captained that Panther team to the Stanley Cup final in 1996, guys.
All right, thank you, Craig. B.J. Upton is waiting patiently at the plate. And Jacob Turner, having walked Dan Uggla after getting the first 2 outs here in the 4th, goes to work on B.J. Upton. Pop-up, shallow right, Stanton. Just a 9-pitch inning for Jacob Turner, who's rolling right now with a 4-1 lead. Brought to you by Honda. Visit your Honda dealer for great lease and finance deals on fuel-efficient Hondas. By Coventry Healthcare of Florida, lighting the way to better health. And by Metro PCS, unlimited 4G data, talk, and text on Metro PCS, wireless for all. That would be Paul Maholm, Braves starter, a rocky first. He gave up 4, but since then, he's been solid. Jeff Mathis, Jacob Turner, Justin Ruggiano, 8-9-1. The ruckus you hear in the backdrop. Camp Day. Campers from all over South Florida are here. In the old football stadium, Camp Day was fun for about 2 innings.
This is a tough day for the kids there.
And then you could see the kids just baking.
They start to wilt.
The ice cream melting. The teachers running out of patience. And the frozen yogurt there, Tommy. That's our kind of campers.
That looks good.
And by the time the campers would leave in the 5th or the 6th inning, they just would be a ball of sweat and angst. But here they got their feet up.
You know what? And you hope that the campers, by their camp day today, become Marlins fans.
There's a liner off of Mahala. Mathis trying to get the hit. The flip is in time to get him. Great recovery by Mahala. The question for the Braves is he okay?
Well, that ball got him pretty good. He did make a nice recovery and had the luxury of a catcher going up the line, even though Mathis runs pretty well. The key is that he picked up where the ball was and then made a quick flip. By the way, if he's right-handed, he has a lot tougher time making that play. Being left-handed helped him.
I'm sure the Braves want to see him throw a pitch just to make sure that he's okay. And Laird will trot back behind the plate. He appears to be fine.
You know, Paul Mahala over his career, 31 years old, he's been the prototypical journeyman left-hander. I mean, his record is a losing record. Some decent years ERA-wise, but win-loss-wise, not so when he was with the Pirates. Not very good teams. But if you look at Mahala over his last 7 years, he's averaged 30 starts and 9 wins.
Don't see that every day, but you know. Turner reaches up and smokes one, and that one's going all the way to the wall. Turner's thinking about a triple. He turns, he's on his way, and he's got it. A stand-up triple for Jacob Turner.
Only his second career hit, and it's 3 bases. Again, Jose Fernandez loves it. We've talked about how Jose has kind of brought out a little bit of Jacob Turner, who's pretty subdued and pretty quiet.
Infield comes in now, and so it's a big opportunity for Miami to add a run. With 1 out, Turner's at third. Ruggiano takes in.
Well, he got a pitch up, and he found that gap out there by the home run sculpture, the deepest part of the ballpark. Kind of rattles around there, and he ends up with the stand-up triple.
It's, you know, in watching, and there's Turner pulling in at third base. A little chop. There you go. And even, I mean, Jose was waiting for that.
Look at Giancarlo. He enjoyed it too. And I would doubt Turner's going on contact.
You play at a ballpark like this, which is a great place for triples, big gaps. Obviously, there's a premium on pitching and on defense and speed in the outfield. But there's also a premium on situations like this and being able to execute and produce runs.
That's a great point, because if you're not going to hit a lot of home runs, you have to produce in these situations.
Yes, because you're going to get doubles, so you got to move runners over. You're going to get triples, so you got to get them in. And having watched the St. Louis Cardinals 3 times over this last week, they are outstanding at that. The Braves were very good at it last night. Brian McCann in particular. Mahalam walks Ruggiano. Now he's thinking about a ground ball. David Carpenter in Atlanta's bullpen.
Well, the Braves infield now sets at double play position.
Well, Lucas, a very good hit and run guy. Ruggiano eyes Mahalam from first. It's always a tricky deal when you're trying to drive a ball or lift a ball against a guy that has a really good changeup. And he gets a ton of ground balls. Only Kyle Kendrick has more. Kyle Kendrick and Adam Wainwright have more.
I think half of Kendrick's have been against the Marlins.
That's in.
And how did, well, the only reason Westbrook missed that list is he spent some time on the DL.
18, 19 the other day.
18 ground ball outs. Whew.
Ruggiano at first, Turner's at third, 1 out, 2-1. Lucas swings and misses.
Pulled the string, got a good changeup. Good pitch for Mahalam.
And there's that situation. Lucas wants anything but a ground ball here. And that's Mahalam's specialty. And a swing and a miss. And Lucas strikes out.
Haven't seen Ed Lucas do this a whole lot, and that is in a situation, not get the job done, and then chase a pitch badly out of the zone. Looked like he got a changeup again.
Now it'll be interesting to see how Mahalam approaches Stanton. Stanton, when Mahalam fell behind in the first, crushed one for a double, and then Mahalam walked him. Infield playing Stanton to pull. And Mahalam busts him in. That's out, and it's 2-0.
You don't see a pitcher too often pitch around a guy to load the bases up, but he's handled Ozuna pretty well today. Ozuna's 0 for 2 and 0 for 11 in the series. And he's sure not coming close to Giancarlo.
No, it's up and in. It's 3-0. It's that axiom that first base isn't open, but second is. Be interested to see if Stanton takes a rip if it's close. And it's not close.
He didn't want to give him anything close.
So here's Ozuna again in a big spot. And as you pointed out, Mahalam has handled him pretty well.
And we'll see what Ozuna's approach is. He came into the game hitting over 300 against left-handers. So he's hit lefties pretty well. But 0 for 2 against Mulholland.
One and 0. Of course, Ozuna has had a terrific year with runners in scoring position. And he's got a couple in there right now. Well, there they are. Turner tripled. That was the exciting part. Ruggiano walked after Lucas struck out. Stanton walked. Now Ozuna's sitting on a 2-0 pitch.
Boy, he has to be patient and selective here.
It's out, and Mulholland goes to 3-0. Now, if you're Mike Redmond, do you dare give a young hitter a green light here?
No. No. Especially since Mulholland hasn't thrown a strike in 7 pitches.
That's a pitch we really haven't seen Mulholland throw much at all, and that is a straight fastball at 85 miles an hour right down the middle of the plate.
You have to assume he's going to throw that same pitch.
We'll see. 3-1 coming. And Ozuna pulls it to the shortstop. And Mulholland gets out of trouble. He gets the rookie to bounce out and end the 4th. Time now for the Just for Men Auto Stop Foolproof Stat of the day. 3 hit games at Marlins Park. The Braves. Number 1, Francisco. One of those was a blast of about 460 feet. Destroyed away center. Andrelton Simmons. Justin Upton.
Juan Francisco with a couple of the longest home runs here at Marlins Park.
Well, the question will be, will this young pitcher hang on to this 4-1 lead? Will racing around the bases with the triple slow him down? He certainly had a lot of time to recover, because then the Marlins would load the bases. That's an excruciating inning for Miami. When you watch Mulholland and how much he was struggling.
The Marlins haven't had, and I guess that happens when you're 32 and 57. They haven't had a lot of games where they've gotten that inning and had an opportunity just to blow out a game early. And they've had chances, they've had those opportunities, but they have misfired on some huge base hits to just blow out a game early. And got to take a deep breath and relax a little bit.
Gerald Laird takes a fastball for a strike. Brian McCann getting the day off. In Miami, a 4-1 Marlins lead. Laird. Mahalam is on deck. Laird fouls one off.
Hey, Mahalam had to flinch on that foul ball. Just went to his left. I think this is an example, if Mahalam hits here in this inning, of because the Braves have a game tomorrow night against Cincinnati, and because he's had to use his bullpen in this series, the extra inning game the other night, that he might have to try to stretch another inning out of Mahalam.
Top 5. Braves have just a couple of hits. They were doubles back in the second, and Laird swings and misses. He strikes out. And here comes Mahalam.
Because if you're a pinch hitter, you would like, if you know that the manager's just decoying and going to take Mahalam out of the game, you'd like to be able to go in the on-deck circle and get loose there as opposed to back in the runway. Plus, Mahalam hit the ball pretty well his first time up.
And he lined out to Ozuna, who nearly overran the ball. Braves had a chance for a substantial inning in the second. Johnson and Uggla both doubled to open up the inning. But in a couple of bizarre plays, a wild pitch on a strikeout to B.J. Upton, Uggla tried to get to third. Mathis had to decide between throwing to first and throwing to third. He went to third and just got Uggla on a bang-bang play. Turner then, without throwing a pitch, came to the stretch and picked Upton off. Broken bat, and Stanton makes the catch. The business end of the bat ended up back by the screen. 2 outs. Baseball Night in America is coming back on Saturday. The Nationals and the Marlins. The Marlins are on Saturday night on Big Fox. Baseball Night in America begins Saturday, 7 Eastern, 6 Central.
I'm going to add a little bit to your homework assignment, Rich. You were going to talk to Jeff Mathis about that play on the strikeout and him throwing to third base. Go see Red about it, too. Let's ask Mike Redmond about that play, if he's ever been involved in a similar type play.
Pasternicki takes a breaking ball. And it's 0-2. Foul back and out of play. Now it's 0-2, so I can't start I did my homework from last night's story yet. But when we get back, I'll tell you about my visit to the umpire's room, or one of the burning questions on Email Tuesday last night.
That's right.
So if Pasternicki keeps fouling
so they
balls
let
on,
you in this time.
They did. They did. And Dan Iasonia with the...
How's his wrist doing?
It's good. He said, yeah. He said, first game with the cast, first ball hit right at him. Go figure. And that one is going to hop in front of Solano.
Well, that's going to be a base hit. It was kind of just hit off the end of the bat. And by the time it gets to Solano, he's 5 or 6 steps onto the grass. Ed Lucas had moved way off the bag, so it would have been, if he catches it cleanly, he would have had to throw it to Turner covering first. So base hit all the way.
You know, Lucas for a moment thought he might be able to catch it. Hayward now is flying out, bounced out. Pasternicki with just the third hit.
That's the first hit since those back-to-back doubles in the second inning.
Solano again on the outfield grass. This one he has. And he gets to first and gets the out. So Jacob Turner has 5 innings in and has a 4-1 lead in Miami. That's the place to be right now. If you can't be there on the beach, maybe you want to be over with Cookie and Raul.
Quinto inning y eso suena que está Richie Tommy con nosotros.
Hey, how do you say bikini in Spanish?
Bikini. Un traje de baño de 2 piezas.
No. That's a beautiful shot, isn't it?
Trusa pequeña.
How are you guys?
We're good. This is a very different ball game from the first 2 in the series.
Definitely. I mean, that first game was pitcher's duel. It started out like we were going to get out of here quick, and it ended up being the complete opposite. We were here all night.
It's nice to come to you guys with a lead and with a game being played a little bit better.
Well, and seeing a very good pitching of Turner. Only 3 hits he allowed to the Braves, so he's pitching very well, and hopefully that we can save this game right now for Turner and for the Marlins. We lost the first 2 games, and it's important for us to have this win and try to win 1 out of the 3 of the series.
Hey, Cookie, how many times did you go to the All-Star game?
I have 5. I had actually 6, but I didn't want to go on the 6th one.
What was your most memorable All-Star experience?
Well, I think it was in Atlanta when I hit that home run to put the American League ahead.
Who'd you hit it off of?
He was the pitcher from the Montreal Expos.
Steve,
in that area.
Steve Rogers, Bill Stoneman?
Stoneman. Billy Stoneman, yeah. That was it.
So, that's obviously a thrill for any player. Jose Fernandez gets that opportunity. Polanco has another hit as he tries one to left field.
I think Fernandez is going to do a great job, and I believe he's going to see many All-Star games the way he, that you can see his future. I think definitely he's going to be there many, many times, and it's great to have him there. And I think Osuna also, needed a little more effort from fans to try to see if they could get him in the All-Star game too, the way he had played. He's leading the rookies in the average and RBIs and all that, so he deserves, a shot at it.
What do you see in Ozuna the last few games? With him not getting a hit in this series so far?
Well, I think that Tommy is coming to the point where he might be a little bit tired. He's played every game since he came up here. And I think tomorrow is going to be good for him on the day off. And then after the series with the Nationals, he gets 3 or 4 days there that I think will be beneficial for him, and then come back again the second part of the season.
Are you guys surprised that the Braves only have 1 representative at the All-Star game with Kimbrough?
Oh, yeah, we talked about that at the outset. The Braves, a first-place team, Oakland, a first-place team, and they both only have 1. Now, Freddie Freeman is leading with the final vote right now, and I think the Braves, and up here we've been talking about. We're hopeful that that Freeman gets the nod and that he's there as well.
Definitely, I think Freeman deserves it. I mean, he's just in a situation where there's so much depth at that position, and it's nice to see that there's a mechanism in place where he can finally potentially get into the game, because for some of these guys this represents a bonus or just the recognition that they deserve.
That's a fair ball out to second to get it out there.
Buena jugada. And
Polanco makes sure that Pasternicki can't turn it. All right, guys, have a good show.
All right,
you too, guys.
Take care.
Ahí el infield.
It's a good play by Laird. He had to make that quick decision. Well, you don't realize the number, and we've seen a couple of them today, the number of quick decisions players have to make on the field. We've seen 2 by catchers in this one today, and a strong throw by Laird as well. But Polanco, you're right, made sure Pasternicki did not get a throw off. Placido Polanco, a 2-time All-Star.
Solano's now at first. Echeverria's up. Echeverria's walked and has struck out. Maholm still out there. Throws a breaking ball for a strike.
The All-Star game nowadays, and Cookie could certainly attest to it, it's become more pomp and circumstance with all the futures game, the home run derby, the parade. It's become a huge spectacle for Major League Baseball. Whoever hosts the All-Star game, they have all kinds of things going on.
Echeverria takes in it. It's 2-1. I don't think they had the red carpet parade when Cookie was an All-Star 6 times.
Cookie played in the All-Star game where the guys who started the games, many of them played 9 innings. And there wasn't all the political correctness to get guys in. People weren't offended if their guys didn't play. The National League wanted to kick the butts of the American League, and the American League wanted to do the same with the National League.
Echeverria's got a 10-game hit streak with that base hit to left
field. It meant more when it didn't mean more.
That's true. Now it means something, Tommy. No, then it meant something. Do you think interleague baseball hurt it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Carpenter's coming in, and it's a Metro PCS call to the bullpen. As we told you, the Nationals are coming. for a 3-game series. Saturday is a 7:15 start, and it's a Saturday spectacular. All-you-can-eat seats, just $27. You can celebrate Colombian Heritage Night. Enjoy a post-game concert featuring Sonora Carousels, all presented by Avianca Airlines. Go to Marlins.com for tickets. Into the line for Paul Maholm, David Carpenter, out of what is a very good Atlanta bullpen. And a fastball is up and in.
Yeah, they've put up some pretty good numbers, the Atlanta bullpen.
A 2.61 ERA. The bullpen's ERA is the best in the National League. Opponents hitting just .213. That's best in the National League. And they've only given up 16 homers. That's best in the National League. Liner into center. Upton comes charging in, makes the catch. And everybody has to retreat. Jeff Mathis has hit the ball hard 3 times. He has an RBI single. Remember, he lined one off of Maholm's leg and was out. And he lines out here. And it brings up triples hitter Jacob Turner. In this series, Atlanta's bullpen is now 9 2/3 innings, 2 hits, and no runs. How about that?
You know, we briefly saw that photo op in the Marlins bullpen. The pitchers that were getting their picture taken as a group, those were the pitchers who tied that Major League record of retiring 24 consecutive batters. So a photo op for history.
So I guess there never has been a game where the starter gets ejected in the first inning or so.
No, there was years ago.
But that was a no-hitter, not a perfect game.
Yeah, that game where Babe Ruth
right
got ejected.
Because that's the only way that a bullpen could get that stretch. And it's amazing that it was such a tag team effort.
I mean, Marlins bullpen catcher Jeff Urgelis was even involved in warming all the guys up.
You think he photobombed the picture?
No, I think he stayed out that one.
Turner strikes out. Marlins leave a couple. It's still 4-1. Camp Day in Miami, Braves and Marlins. Along with Craig Minervini, Jeff Conine, and Tommy Hutton. Rich Waltz with you. Along with a large group of campers from a variety of camps across South Florida. And a fun day for Jacob Turner, the 22-year-old, in 5 innings, has kept the Braves to just a run. He gets the dangerous Justin Upton, Freddie Freeman, and Chris Johnson here in the 6th inning.
Turner right now at 82 pitches. There was a time I don't think we thought he'd get here, but he has settled in. Fastball still has some life, and an important inning for him.
And he's facing Upton, who was the star for the Braves at the plate in the first 2 games of this series, with 5 hits, a home run, and 4 doubles.
Boy, that two-seamer had some good movement.
Oh-2. In the air to center. And Ozuna makes the catch.
That's some nice pitches. Finally got Upton on the curveball. Had him reaching for easy fly ball out.
Freddie Freeman now has struck out, and he has bounced out. Marlins will face the Brewers after the All-Star break. I guess one of the questions will be, will Ryan Braun be there in Milwaukee? There's a fly ball into the corner, racing for it, Ruggiano, and it bounces off the wall. Ruggiano picks it up. Freeman's got himself a double.
A little 5-game hitting streak for Freddie Freeman, and double number 18 on the year.
And that's a twofold question about Braun as we look at Freeman going after a low fastball. The two-parter on Braun, and all the stories in the last 2 days on a variety of networks and news services indicating that Major League Baseball still has Ryan Braun and Alex Rodriguez in the crosshairs along with 20 other players. And that there's a good possibility that those players will be suspended, some for as many as 100 games after the All-Star break.
Yeah, commissioner doesn't want to detract from the All-Star game and all the festivities that we were talking about. And so I would imagine after the break, we'll be reading about some suspensions.
And of course, the other question for Braun is the thumb. He came back after missing a month because of the nerve in the right hand. And was out of the lineup against the Reds to rest that thumb a day after coming back. He went 1 for 3 in his return yesterday.
Remember in that series here, the Brewers at that time were just kind of thinking it was going to be a day-to-day thing.
Chris Johnson, 0-2 pitch. If there's an unsung hero for the Braves, you're looking at him. Got a promotion up to the 5 spot. He's lined out and doubled. And of course, he was a guy that was, I don't want to say thrown in, but included in the Justin Upton deal from the Diamondbacks. Because with Martin Prado exiting and Chipper Jones retiring, The Braves needed somebody to play third base. We saw Juan Francisco over there early in the season. That didn't quite work out, but Johnson certainly has. He has 20 doubles.
If you go back to spring training with the Braves, those two were, okay, it's going to be a battle. Left-handed bat, right-handed bat, see who wins the job. And now Francisco isn't even here.
But we'll see him in Milwaukee. Breaking ball in the dirt, and that'll push the runner up. And that's a big, wild pitch, because with one out now, Johnson can produce a run with an out. The American League Home Run Derby team has been finalized, Tommy. Prince Fielder, Chris Davis, Robinson Cano, of course, is the captain. Yoenis Cespedes has been named to the Home Run Derby.
And is not on the All-Star team, which we've talked about. The participants in the Home Run Derby do not have to be on the All-Star team.
National League captain David Wright has Bryce Harper, Carlos Gonzalez, and Michael Kadire. Cespedes is the fourth player not chosen for the All-Star game to compete in the event. Can you name the other three? Ball in the dirt. One is a former Marlin, believe it or not, but you'll never get his name. Ryan Howard in 07.
Not Sheffield.
Rafael Palmeiro in 04. Cespedes this year. In 05, Hee-Sop Choi.
Big Choi.
Ground ball. Lucas thought about home and gets the out, and that's where the wild pitch is important.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of the Braves doing what they do so well. Even with 2 strikes on him at the time, Johnson got the run in.
Fox Sports 1 is coming, America's new 24-hour sports network. Fox Sports 1 will be your home for great live sports. All the news and highlights you want, shows and specials that only Fox could bring you. Fox Sports 1, and it's coming on August 17th. RBI for Johnson. Here's Ugla with the bags empty, but it's now down to a 2-run lead.
Goes back to our email discussion we had last night about a strikeout. Is it the same as any other out? And obviously it isn't. If Johnson strikes out there, the Braves don't get a run.
Turner's gone 2-1. Ugla, an odd double in the second off the end of the bat that bounced off of first base. Sends Ozuna and Ruggiano close together. Ozuna makes the catch. Inning is over. But Atlanta gets a run back and is a run closer in a 4-2 game. You know, every now and then, Tommy, we get a letter or letters in the mail. I got this one, and it's from Thomas in Decatur, Georgia, and it was addressed to me. And the letter said, "Hi, Rich, longtime Mariner fan here.
Oh, okay. Remembers you from your Seattle days.
I was cleaning out the attic the other day, and these were in a shoebox. It immediately occurred to me that they might be a better display in a certain booth." And that's from Tom in Decatur, Georgia. And what he sent were, look at these. Huh?
We got both teams represented, the Phillies, the Expos.
Phillies and Expos. Tommy Hutton baseball cards preserved in a nice plastic case. How cool is that? And, you know, the impressive thing, Tommy, is you actually have a bat in your hand in both of
these.
Those
were, midway through the career.
Yeah, because late in the career it was just you on the bench.
Just on the bench, just sitting.
Yeah, towel on your shoulder, fetching some water for...
working on my future career.
Getting Hawk a Gatorade or something. So, our thanks to Tom, actually, Thomas Whitfield in Decatur, Georgia. And I'm going to present these to you.
Oh, thank you.
Because I already have one.
Oh, thank you very much.
Actually, we should put those up on the wall of shame.
We'll put them up there, yeah.
Here in the booth. Ruggiano takes a strike. Now, I know baseball cards are still around, but are they as important to players now as they used to be?
Well, there's still, I think there's still a feeling of, hey, I've gotten to the big leagues, I've got a card. I mean, that used to be years ago, guys would think about that. Boy, you think you'll ever get on a baseball card? First you were on maybe you're on with somebody else on a rookie card.
But I don't think nowadays that players, as they did in your day or many years ago, would use their cards to get into certain establishments. You know? Get out of traffic tickets. Ruggiano, center field, Upton back and there, and he makes the catch. So the Marlins hitting here in the bottom of the sixth.
Actually had a couple of interesting rookie cards. One on with former Yankees executive and manager and player Gene Michael. And the other one on with an old roommate, a flame-throwing right-hander, Alan Foster.
Lucas lines one to right. Hayward is there, and he gets it. A couple of loud outs here in the sixth.
Let's see if Stanton sees anything to hit in this at bat.
He certainly was pitched to cautiously by Paul Maholm. In 3 plate appearances, Stanton has seen 12 pitches. One of them he crushed for a double. That was a strike. Only 3 other strikes and 8 balls. There's a letter-high fastball for a strike.
It's also been a struggle. A lot of it is relative to how he's been swinging the bat to when the Marlins played the Braves. Stanton against the Braves this year, just 4 hits in 27 at bats. Kind of came off that one a little bit.
Well, it's definitely a work in progress.
Yeah, it's not all going to happen real fast. And Tino Martinez knows that. He went through many of those periods himself, I'm sure. But the key is you have a swing like that, and then in Carpenter, the pitcher's mind, you plant the seed. Maybe I can get him out. So he may make a mistake.
Three-two. Nope. Breaking ball.
Good job, though, to lay off that 3-2 slider after he'd seen some fastballs.
So Stan has walked 3 times in this game, 7 times in the series. And again, as we said, there's Stan and Freeman bumping into each other. Those two guys played, I believe, on the same team for an area codes team in Southern California. So they know each other quite well.
Yeah, they do. It's the old juggling act for a hitting coach. You get one guy just coming out of it, and you have another one who's right now mired in an 0 for 12, Marcell Ozuna.
Ball and a strike. That seems to be the pitch that has given Ozuna a real tough time lately, is the fastball, and it's not necessarily a strike. A lot of times it's in and right on his hands.
It's a tough pitch to lay off because you see fastball 95 miles an hour, and so you want to react and get to it, but you react and it's really inside. It was a tough pitch to stay away from.
Yeah, pitch number 3, the one that just tied him up. And as a young hitter, until you prove you can A, lay off that pitch, or B, hit the pitch, you'll continue to see the pitch. Johnson scoops it, and across the diamond in time. The Marlins are done here in the 6th. On to the 7th with Miami up a couple. With Craig Minervini.
Thank you very much, Rich, with Emily Nostro, who's here with a big group once again today. How many students are here?
We have 25 students here today.
25 students from the Miami Lighthouse.
for the blind and visually impaired.
And they've been here before, and last year you came for the first time. And here's the group here. We're going to talk to Alondra in a second, but this is a great opportunity for the kids to come out, and it's a touching tour, as they call it.
Definitely. We got to go on the field, we got to go in the dugout, and they got to bring out game-worn equipment that the kids got to touch so they really understand what the game of baseball is all about.
And they seem to understand in a different way because they're visually impaired. Some of them cannot see at all, some can.
Correct. We have kids with low vision, we have kids who are totally blind. So being in a skybox is excellent because they can go over and listen to on TV. But some of them just like being around here in the stands and cheering and dancing.
And hearing the crowd too, they're enjoying it. This is Alondra Roldan. Just angle this way so we could see you. Tell me what you've enjoyed the most about today.
Well, the touch tour, we got to go into the dugout and we met one-on-one players.
And did you get to touch some of the baseball equipment? And what are your senses? What did you?
We used baseball equipment.
Like what? Do you know what it was?
Like
baseball?
Baseball, the gloves, some bats, and even a base.
That's kind of neat, right?
Yes.
What's your favorite thing about the tour today?
I guess I'm spending time with everyone here in the lighthouse and having fun, watching a game, and hopefully they're surely going to win.
I thought you were going to tell me being on television with me.
And that too.
All right, Alondra, thank you very much. Great job, Emily, bringing the group. What do you think they get out of it the most?
Oh, it's just hands-on experience of really getting to know what baseball's about. Listening to it on the radio is nothing compared to going on the field and learning about the grass and the dugout and everything.
Yeah, some of the things that we forget about, actually. The Miami Lighthouse, blind and visually impaired. This is the transition group. You guys are doing a great job. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Rich, back to you.
Thank you. Great story and a terrific program and tour. Jacob Turner has got B.J. Upton, Gerald Laird, and Paul Mahalam, the pitcher spot to face. And a swing and a miss. Down goes B.J. Upton. Turner looking good here into the seventh.
And Rich, I'm going to give you a great storyline on Jacob Turner. First of all, for all of those who came out to see him in St. Louis, his friends and family, he's fine. That was a tough outing for him, even though he didn't pitch all that badly. But how about this for Jacob Turner this year? And this is what you love to see. Against the National League East, he had a 7-inning performance against the Mets, 5 hits, no runs. He had a 6-inning game against the Phillies, 4 hits, 1 run. He's gone 6 1/3 here today and has given up 2 runs to the Braves.
That one just off the plate. Gerald Laird has walked and struck out. Tardoslavich on deck. And Luis Ayala, the right-hander in the bullpen. In the air. And Solano talks Lucas out of it and makes the catch. A reminder that the Duffy's deal from Duffy's Sports Grill gives you a ride to the game, and for $40 you get a lower level ticket. Round trip motor coach transportation from Duffy's. $10 Duffy's gift card. And the next Duffy's deal game is Saturday night against the Nationals at 7:15. Or Marlins.com/Duffy's. Mike Dunn in the bullpen. Tardoslavich now pulls the ground ball. Lucas has it, gets to the bag. And just like that, Jacob Turner with a very quick 7th inning, holding on to a 4-2 lead.
because
Happy birthday.
Johnson.
Happy birthday, Mark. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Mark. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mark Butler, the Vice President of Audio and our audio engineer, the guy who gives you all the great sounds. Here today, Atlanta and Miami.
Award-winning Mark Butler.
Many times over. So many times that there's no room in the house to keep the Emmys and the big audio phone, or whatever they call the audio awards, the Audis. Luis Ayala is in the bullpen. Mark turning 39 today. And for his birthday, he was given a gift certificate to an exterminator to kill the cricket that has been plaguing the on-deck circle by the visitors' dugout. So
that's a audio technician's nightmare.
Well, we've remedied that.
He lost sleep over it last night.
There's the parab, as they call it in the business. Braves have changed pitchers. Marlins here in the bottom of the 7th have Placido Polanco, Donovan Solano, and Adeiny Echeverria coming up. Polanco's had a nice day. RBI double in the 1st, a single in the 6th.
Yeah, Polanco continued his trend against left-handed pitching. That's one thing this year. Placido's over 340 now against lefties with his 2 hits today against Mulholland.
And give the Campers some credit. The Campers have been lively. They've had fun. They've been into the ball game. Johnson kicks it. It rolls into shallow left. Polanco around first. And he'll stop there. That's the one knock on Chris Johnson at third, is he is not an above-average defender. He's been great with the bat.
Well, he's playing, but even with the bag, he gets that short hop, and then it caroms past Pasternicki, and Johnson is going to be charged with the error.
It's his 8th error of the season. Now Solano. Well, we've seen the Braves be able to get runners over and get them in. The Marlins had the big inning of the 1st with 4 runs, but since then Miami has not executed offensively, and they've had opportunities.
You'd love to see the Marlins add on. Got an opportunity. A little back control for Donovan Solano.
Solano right back to the mound. Out there, the turn by Pasternicki, and a double play.
Well, you notice how Ayala, who's been around a little bit, he got that ball so quickly, he took his time. He didn't rush. He allowed Pasternicki to get over to cover the bag because he knew he was going to be able to turn the double play. He wanted to make a good throw, so he took his time.
Echeverria's walked, struck out, and singled. One ball, one strike. A 10-game hit streak for Etch. He's got 5 hits in the series. And up into the Campers, that one will go.
done a pretty good job against the Braves, too. 11 hits on the season against Atlanta.
Two balls, two strikes. Marlins trying to snap a 5-game losing streak, which is odd, coming off of a terrific month in which they had the second best record in baseball, and coming off a series win in Atlanta.
It's one of those crazy things about this game. You want to say, boy, I didn't see that coming, but it's also one of the realities of the game. It happens.
And Echeverria's got another hit. And around first, headed for second. He's in there. A hustle double. You don't see that very often. A ground ball to the left of the shortstop turns into a double.
And you love the way Echeverria was thinking that all the way out of the batter's box. With 2 out, he's saying, okay, try to get to scoring position. And he did. And it's the third multi-hit game he's had in this series alone. So not only does he have a 10-game hitting streak, he's getting more than one a game. Good job by Edge.
Now Mathis up. Greg Dobbs is on deck. As Miami tries to add a run onto a 4-2 lead, and Mathis has his bat broken. Ugla tosses to first in time, and the inning is over. They leave Echeverria out at second. 7 innings through, 4-2 Miami.
Marlins didn't waste any time. Giancarlo with a nice swing, driving one into the gap in left center, driving home 2, and just like that, it was a 2-0 lead. Polanco with a double over the third base bag, driving in another run. The Marlins get their 3rd run. Jeff Mathis produces the 4th run of the inning with an RBI base hit. In the 2nd inning, Dan Ugla hits one off the end of the bat and hits the bag, and the Braves get a run. But the Marlins were able to get out of that inning. Good job by Jacob Turner. Braves got another run just like that, but it's 4-2. Turner with a 7-inning day. A great performance. Gave up just the 2 runs. He turns it over to Chad Qualls to try to preserve the 4-2 lead.
Balls gets the top of the order. Tyler Pastornicki, Jason Hayward, and Justin Upton.
Boy, a nice line by Jacob Turner. 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 5 strikeouts, 3 walks. And again, Rich kept the ball in the ballpark. He talked about it early. Has only allowed 1 home run this year.
And the Braves, of course, the best home run hitting team in the National League. Pastornicki giving Simmons the day off. He has an infield hit in 3 trips. Braves don't have a lot of hits, just 4 of them. 3 of the 4 doubles. Freeman, Chris Johnson, Dan Uggla. Falls in the Marlins pen, needs 6 outs. Veteran right-hander.
Easy, Chad, easy.
Jam shot. And a quick out.
It came in hard on Pastornicki to get that 1 hopper back to him.
Easy, Chad, easy.
Here Mathis telling him takes time, easy.
So Hayward climbs in, and you've got Upton behind him. Mike Dunn is ready in the bullpen. And of course, if the Marlins get to the 9th with a lead of 2, 3 runs, maybe even 4, you would see Steve Cishek. Hayward swings and misses. I think a lot of Brave fans are wondering what kind of season is Jason Hayward going to have. Last year was a bit of a bounce back year after an injury-plagued 2011. 27 homers, 30 doubles, slugged .479.
Played in 158 games.
This year, he's going to need to turn the dial up, so to speak, a little more to get it going. His slugging percentage is .376, 13 doubles and 7 home runs.
Yeah, I think it hurt him early in the year when he missed some time. He had an appendectomy. He's hit better since he's come back.
It's game number 66 for Hayward. And he swings and misses.
Jason Hayward finished 2nd in the Rookie of the Year voting to Buster Posey. Chad Quall's doing what you hope and doing what you like to see. He's come in, he's thrown strikes, and he's got a couple quick outs.
Justin Upton now. Well, the Marlins in the first 2 games couldn't stop Justin Upton, and the Braves beat him. Upton an enormous part of that with 4 doubles and a home run. Today, Upton does not have a hit. And Miami's got a 2-run lead.
Boy, that's a live fastball, slider, then fastball. Fastball at 96 for Qualls.
Qualls has that interesting finish when he delivers. He sort of pivots on the plant foot.
And that follow leg kind of wraps around.
Still throwing at 96. 1-2.
Jack Ball still throwing the ball hard. He'll be 35 come next month, August 17th.
Balls has had a solid year. This is his 36th appearance. His ERA right around 3.
He's had a solid major league career.
Reds and Brewers are underway. Mets and Giants about 45 minutes away. That game out in San Francisco. 3-1 Cincinnati, bottom of the 3rd. Upton a prolonged at bat here.
All-star Brandon Phillips, a couple of RBIs in that game. 66 RBIs for Phillips. Well, what a treat it must be to hit behind Joey Votto.
And Lucas was talking about what a treat it was to hit in front of Giancarlo Stanton. And Mathis holds it. That's a heck of a battle there between a hot hitter in Upton and Chad Qualls, who comes in and gets 3 outs. The Marlins have a 4-2 lead. And of course, the All-Star break is coming up. A chance to watch the All-Star game, and it's only on Fox on Tuesday night, 7:30 start. Here's hoping Jose Fernandez has a good trip and gets into the ball game. That's at Citi Field, home of the Mets, home of the 2013 All-Star game, and the television home is Fox, 7:30 Eastern. Here today, Miami with a 2-run lead. Juan Pierre will face Luis Ayala, second inning of relief for Ayala. Paul Mulholland got the start for the Braves, and he was not sharp. Walked 5. The Marlins very easily and probably should have more than just their 4 runs. An inning and 2/3 from David Carpenter. Pierre takes outside. On the other side, we see Cishek warming up. Jacob Turner was splendid. 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, walked 3, struck out 5. Turner's ERA sits at 2.33 after his start today.
Well, Mike Redmond had his choice of left-handed pinch hitters, but because he got in a spot where he needed a lefty to lead off an inning, his choice, JP.
And with Mulholland starting, and you were a lefty, you had a pretty good idea that this was a day off. Of course, with Pierre, there never is a day off in baseball. If he's not in the lineup, he's out working, taking extra fly balls.
We saw him in St. Louis the other day. The teams didn't take batting practice. I think it was the middle game, the Saturday game. And we were up here in the booth, in our booth in St. Louis, doing our prep work for the game. Looked out, and there was Juan Pierre in left field with Joe Espada going through some outfield drills. And I talked to him later, and some of the drills were to help his outfield skills, but some of the drills were just to keep his legs ready, keep his legs in shape, get good jumps.
Three-2. Pierre bangs one into left field, and it's a base hit. It bounces in front of Justin Upton. A leadoff hit for Pierre, and here comes Ruggiano.
Again, an opportunity for the Marlins to just add on.
As you can see in the background, the campers are starting to file out in an orderly fashion.
The buses are ready. They're fired up. Some headed north, some headed south, some headed west.
Just make sure you get a good hit count.
Just make sure you remembered what number your bus was.
Ruggiano has been getting the bulk of the time in left field and has been in that leadoff spot. If you look to the future and you look in the Marlins system and say who could fill the role of a leadoff hitter, Christian Yelich has done some leading off. Pop up. Freeman makes the catch.
Boy, nice matchup Friday night when the Nationals come to town. Nathan Eovaldi against Steven Strasburg. And then Jose Fernandez and Dan Herron on Saturday night. Kevin Slowey, Taylor Jordan on Sunday. Some good fastballs Friday night.
That Lucas 1 for 4. He lined out his last time up. The Nationals are in Philly again tonight. We talked about it early in the telecast. The Phillies are creeping up. Washington has yet to separate themselves from the Phillies and make a serious run at the Braves. Though tonight, if Miami holds this 4-2 lead, the Nationals would have a chance to take a bite out of the 6-game lead.
As would the Phillies.
Exactly. Lucas gets another base hit into center field. He's swinging the bat well. Even his outs have been loud outs. That liner, that sinking liner into right.
You know, we had the interesting note at the beginning of the game with Ed Lucas. In the previous 4 games that he has started at first base, and today being number 5, the Marlins have gone 4-0 in those starts when Ed Lucas has been at first base.
Freddie Gonzalez out. And with Stanton at the plate, looks like Freddie's going to make a change here. First and second, 1 out. Gonzalez asked for the ball. Anthony Bavaro is coming in. Braves have come in here and taken the first 2 games. And the Marlins see Anthony Barbaro.
Saw him the other night in the 10th inning of the 14-inning game.
I think we said it in Atlanta. Barbaro is quickly becoming the Tyler Clippard of the Atlanta Braves, a guy that you see just about every night.
I think we saw him every game of the series in Atlanta.
Giancarlo Stanton. Pierre at second. Lucas at first. Stanton hits a fly ball to right field. Hits it pretty deep into the corner. Hayward is there on the track. Makes the catch. Both runners tag. Lucas will have to stay at first. Pierre advances to third. So if you're looking for baby steps, Stanton 1 for 2 today, 3 walks, a 2-run double, and that fly ball.
He stayed back and drove that ball pretty well the opposite field. Yes, good steps forward for Giancarlo. He wants to continue it, the 3-game series against the Nationals, and then I think it's a good time for him to just clear everything out during the All-Star break and get ready for the second half series opening up in Milwaukee.
Here's Ozuna, who's had a frustrating series. He's 0 for 13. And Bavaro misses away.
Boy, Rich, the Marlins have had 11 base runners since the first inning. None of them have scored.
Dwayne Bilo is up. Cishek has been up. And Ozuna battling here. It's an 0 for 15 if you go all the way back to the Cardinal series for Ozuna. Barbaro, part of the best bullpen right now around in terms of ERA. And he misses away. It's 2-2. Best National League pen. 2.61 ERA. Ball in the dirt. Pierre holds at third. And Ozuna now with a count 3-2.
He's been able to today, Ozuna, lay off some pitches that we've seen him chase in the last few games. See what he does with the 3-2 pitch here.
When it goes, Ozuna fouls it off.
I have to agree. I think Cookie hit it on the head when he was talking about Ozuna. He just looks like he's starting to run out of gas a little bit. Because when you see him lay off those pitches, that's a good sign. But when you see him just miss good fastballs.
And he didn't miss the fastball, but he certainly didn't hit that 3-1 pitch from Mahalam with the bags loaded when he rolled out to short to end the inning. And that's the pitch right there that he's really having trouble laying off, which is a pitch that's a ball, and it's in on his hands. There's no real way. I mean, we've seen him pull some pitches in there, but right now he's not getting to those pitches. See that? That was pitch number 7 that he just swung at. Takes the walk.
Good job.
Placido Polanco has a couple of hits. He's 2 for 4.
Been a good day for Polanco. He's made a couple of nice plays at third base. Got a big double in the first inning, driving in a run.
Polanco, a line drive, base hit, center field, and there's your insurance. Pierre scores, Lucas scores, Ozuna to third, and Polanco's big day continues. 3 hits for the veteran third baseman. And the Marlins put some distance between themselves and the Braves here, 6-2.
Boy, that's good. It's been a long time coming, but the veteran Placido Polanco comes through. Line shot, Ugla can't get to it, and 2 more big runs are tacked up on the board.
Solano now. Bavaro, a strike on the outside corner. The Marlins' record in July, 3-6 coming into this ball game. Out to short, flip to Ugla, gets the out. And the inning is over. The Fish, though, get 2 and lead it 6-2. He needs 3 outs. AT&T U-verse rewind. Well, Jacob Turner pitched 7 innings, gave up 2 runs, but he'll remember this. For his first major league triple into the deepest, darkest part. And he even had that sign down. Look at that. That brought laughter from his teammates.
See, Turner's going to get calls from friends and family. They're going to talk more about the triple than they are about his 7 solid innings.
So instead of a 2-run game, Cishek comes into a 4-run game. Obviously not a save situation, but important nonetheless to get the outs, snap the losing streak, turn the page, and get ready for the Nationals.
Well, to this point, too, it's been a well-played game defensively. The Marlins have not made an error.
Freddie Freeman, who was doubled, bounced out, struck out. Chris Johnson and Dan Uggla. Freeman swings and misses. Freeman could be an all-star in a day. This is the informal Fox Regional Twitter poll. This is not official. Pay no attention in terms of the numbers and the impact it'll have on the race, because Freeman is still first in that voting. The MLB.com voting ends tomorrow morning, and then 8 hours of voting on Twitter. And then an unofficial show of hands in ballparks across Major League Baseball. Cishek gets him. The adjustments that Steve Cishek has made, and you got to credit Chuck Hernandez, Marlins pitching coach, on this as well. Especially to the left-handed bats. Cishek, for a while there, couldn't get lefties out, and then now all of a sudden he's getting everybody out.
There was a point in time that lefties were hitting .330.
And there was a point in time where he lost the closer's job, where Mike Redmond said, hey, we're going to give him a rest for a few times and just mix and match and try to get him back.
Coming into this game, lefties at .231 against Cishek. Right-handers just 7 for 56, 125. To a right-handed batter, Cishek cannot be comfortable.
A strike, and it's 2-1. Chris Johnson, a 1 for 3. 4 hits for Johnson. His hit streak extended to 11 games. He just keeps on hitting. The Naples product dumps it into right field. The pride of Stetson. A 1-out single. Here comes Uggla. Reds still lead the Brewers 3-1. That's in the top of the 5th. Uggla with a big rip.
Uggla with that windmill follow through after the big rip.
Oh, 0-2.
Dan Uggla with just 19 home runs last year, already with 16. Remember, he had all those walks last year, 94. And the owner of 5 consecutive years, 07 through 2011, 30 or more home runs.
Just 19 last year. He's almost there this year. Fastball up and in. Uggla, as we've just passed the halfway point in terms of games. The 16 homers. 8 doubles now. Did not go. Uggla's on pace to punch out 200 times, but he's also on pace to walk over 90 times. He walked 94 times last year, and that was 3rd in Major League Baseball.
Boy, that's a pretty close pitch. That's a strike. Number 6.
Counts full. And down goes Uggla.
Well, Cishek came right back with that sinking two-seamer.
112 strikeouts. That's tops in the National League. Chris Carter of Houston has struck out 120 times. Cishek just throwing hard and throwing it by the Braves. And he's 0-2 on B.J. Upton. 0 for 3 is Upton. He's struck out twice. Line into right field. Upton's got a base hit. And the Braves won't go away. Gerald Laird coming to the plate. Brian McCann is on deck. And the last thing Cishek wants is to see McCann come to the plate as the potential tying run.
Yeah, that tells you how important it is right now to get Laird.
Laird, the veteran backup catcher, tries to bunt.
He knows the importance of getting McCann to the plate.
Told you Laird has been in the last 2 postseasons, the last 2 World Series. He appeared in 2 games with the world champion Cardinals in 11. Appeared in 2 games with the Tigers, the American League champs, last year as the Tigers lost to the Giants. Ground ball, Polanco there, little flip, ball game. Marlins win it. Cishek shuts the door. Not a save, but a nice win nonetheless. It snaps a 5-game losing streak. Giancarlo Stanton started it with a 2-run double. Jacob Turner took it the rest of the way. 7 innings, 4 hits, and 2 runs for the 22-year-old, who is now 3-1, and his ERA sits at 2.33. And the Marlins salvage a game of this 3-game set. A day off tomorrow, and then the Nationals on Friday.